Hello guys, my name is Victor, welcome on my channel. This is my first Blender tutorial and today we're gonna be making a rig for our Glowfly. Here is a model that I was working on. No, we are not gonna be modeling all of this character, we're not gonna be texturing it, but we're gonna be making a rig for the whisker of this Glowfly. I was wondering how to create IK controllers for this IK. So as you can see right now, we can move this IK chain, but what I wanted to create is the controllers for the middle of IK chain. And as you can see, this was my initial stage I'm showing you right now. I couldn't move that because the way the IK chain working, it consists of 11 bonds, as we can see here. But at the middle, if you want to move it, you cannot. You can try, of course, to parent this bond to this one and try to move that, but it will break our chain, which at the moment consists of 11 bonds. So that's not a way out of the situation. So you can also try to add child constraint or transform constraint, but it's not gonna be working as well as I found. So I was wondering, I was fiddling around with this quite a while and I couldn't come up with solutions, so I went to the Blender artist forum to ask guys what to do with this, if it's possible. Some people told that's not possible, but one guy, he helped me, so I will show you guys how to do it now. And here is our rig. No, not this one. Yeah. So as you can see, this is actually IK chain. Let me go to the bond properties and enable octahedral display mode for the bonds. This is the mode that more comfortable to me. You can leave it B-bone, but I'll be working with this one and it's easier. And let's enable here another layers which were hidden. As you can see guys, here is our IK chain. We can move it like this, and also we can grab this controller and we can grab it. We have additional controllers for the IK chain and we still can move it. This one, IK chain, not gonna deform our mesh. This is actual deformation bonds. You can even close your eyes on this one. Maybe I'll try to hide them so you don't see them, because these bonds are not important for us right now. So just let me hide them. So here we go. You can see we can move it, and we have additional controllers here at the middle of IK chain. This is very useful, maybe not for this particular character, not for the Glowfly, but for example, if you are doing jellyfish or octopus tentacles, it will be very useful for you to create these bones in the middle. Now, those who are not familiar enough with the rigging may have some questions. Why we are moving only 3 bonds here? They may ask, this is not the IK chain. This is IK chain, but at the moment it looks it consists of the 3 bonds because we have enabled octahedral mode. But anytime you can switch to the B bond and you have more controllers here. You have actually more flexible rig here. But this is the same. We are not changing anything. This is, you just can, as I said, move to that section, to the B bond in any time. What the B-bone does, somebody using this is more often because we have here segments. So for example, this bone have 6 segments, this one 6 segments, and this one 6 segments. So we still have 3 bones, actually here, here, and here. If we switch to octahedral, here is our 3 bones. So this is the same, but of course when we switch to the B-bonds, this is more flexible. You can agree. If we go to octahedral, this rig looks more rigid, more stiff, but after parenting I think we will switch to the B-bond anyway. Okay, so without further ado, let's dive into this and let's try to recreate that. Let's just delete all of this. So we will be making our rig from scratch, our rig for the whisker. Delete bones. Okay, see, I have enabled X-axis mirror here, so the bones were deleted from another side as well, but doesn't matter. We're gonna be changing this rig for the whisker anyway. So right now we have only one bone, and let's create chain. So the way to do it, we can try to do it differently. We can just extrude like this, and we can subdivide it as many times as you want. Do you know what? I've just noticed that I have not enabled the screencast key. It may be useful for if the noobs are watching our tutorial. So let's go to this user preferences, to add-ons, and screencast key. Oh, it's enabled, so let's go to this end panel and start display. And right now you can see what I'm pressing. But another way how you can subdivide, you can create long chain easier, not just like this and this and this. By extruding each bones, you can create on one go. So in one go. So the way to do it, you can enable skeleton sketching. Here we go. Let's just extrude it like that, and you create something. But let's just make it simpler, and let's unhide our character. Alt H. Okay, let's go to object mode. Here is our character. So we can see how we need to extrude these bones. And let's go for now to the solid mode, and here's our bones. Okay, so let's start to do it. One, yeah, I have enabled axis, so we can see which way the bone is looking at. All of the axes have to be similar. All of the bones have to look the same way. So we can see Y is pointing upwards and X to the left. So, but this is for this bone. But that bone, actually all of them, are looking different way. So Z axis is here, X axis is here. So let's make this bone to look the same way as that one. And the way to do it, Ctrl N, active bone. And now all of our bones pointing the right way, Z axis looking that way. So the way we create IK bone, we select this one and the bone before this, the next to it, and we press Shift Ctrl C. But of course we do it in the pose mode, so let's switch to the pose mode, and we have to choose inverse kinematic constraint. So right now, okay. Oh yeah, I forgot to unparent this bone. Clear parent for this last bone is very important. And let's unparent this bond from that one for now. So now our chain consists of 11 bonds, and that's fine. And here's our IK constraint. So you can see we will add the pole target. Yeah, let's do it right now. So let's go to edit mode again. Let's duplicate, for example, this bone. Let's move it here. And for now, just let's clear parent. Later we will add it to the root bone. We'll parent to the root bone, but for now let's see what the name main whisker are. Okay, of course we didn't rename all of our bonds, which is necessarily to do. So this one gonna be our pole target. I'll quickly, guys, rename here. Maybe I'll speed up this process a bit. Okay, this is gonna be pole target. Let's go to the IK chain and choose this pole target. Here we go. So now our IK chain is pointing to that one, but you can see it moved. We don't want that. It shifted. The IK chain shifted to the right side, but what we want is to look straight for this IK chain. So we have to change the pole angle, and when we rotate it, this moves back to the same place, all chain moving. So, and this is what we want. So at the moment we have this IK chain looking at our pole target. I'll quickly rename all of our IK bonds. Here is two ways how to continue with this rig. I'll show you both of them. The first way is to add stretch to constraints. Stretch to bonds. Extrude. Okay, to somewhere around here. Extrude again. Here you can see I went to this section and we can change wires, so we see our bonds underneath, our IK bonds underneath of these stretch to constraint bonds, though they don't have stretch to constraint just yet, but we will add that. Okay, so once we have added these three bonds, we have to also rename them. Here I already gave the name for those bonds: stretch 1R, stretch 2R, stretch 3R. Let's go now and create our additional controllers, some mechanism bonds here. So add this. As you can see, once we added this bond, our axis is screwed up here. This bond looking to Z-axis. This bond has X-axis, and all of them have X-axis pointing the right side to the right side. So we want that to be done for this bond as well. So select this bond, select that one bond, Control N, active bond. So now this bond pointing the same axis that this one, and all of them By the way, this is gonna be our root bone. So let's give to this name straight away, so we don't forget it. Root bone R, and go to this root of the second big bone and create 2 additional bones here, and I will tell you later what we need them for. Okay. Make sure the axis is correct. If not, select both bone, Ctrl N, and do the same that we did before. And unparent those two. Alt P, clear parent. Alt P, clear parent. And let's go to the root of this bone. Extrude the same 2 bones here. We have axis messed up a bit, so let's fix that. And unparent them as well. Alt P, clear parent. Alt P, clear parent. Let's go here now. Create the same additional bone. And create 1 bone. 1 more bone. Select those 2 and this last one to improve the axis, to set the axis to proper way. Ctrl N, active bone. Okay, and unparent them and rename them. So let's go to this. This is gonna be our, let's say, tweak R. This one gonna be steel, because we're not gonna be moving this bone at all. Now let's go to this steel 2 R and tweak 2 R. Tweak 3 R. This is gonna be that, and this one 3 R. Still 3R. Each of these big bones are gonna be looking at this one, tweak bone. So this one gonna be looking at this one. Later, this tweak bone gonna be parented to the steel bone, and the steel bone will be constrained to the IK bone. In this way, we'll be able to move our IK chain, and all of these bonds will be moved together with that. And this is only a few ways of making this rig. So let's go and proceed with this. So let's add stretch to constraint. Select tweak bone first, and the second one stretch to bone. Shift Ctrl C, stretch to. Let's go to second bone, tweak bone. Select stretch to, Shift Ctrl C, stretch to. and the last twig bond. Select our last stretch to bond, Shift Ctrl C, stretch to. Okay, so at the moment we can move IK chain, but still those bonds are not moving with it. So how do we do that, these bonds will be moving with that as well? Yeah, we can already move our twig bond, because as I said before, we have stretch to constraint, and this stretch to constraint to look at twig bond. Here is the bond, so at this bond. So what we do is we have to parent twig bond to the steel bond. So let's go to the edit mode, Ctrl P, keep offset, and let's do for all of these twig bonds the same. Ctrl P, keep offset, and here's our last twig bond, and select steel bond, Ctrl P, keep offset. So if we go now to the pose mode and we grab our steel bond, we can move here is our steel bond. We can move our twig bond together with the stretch bond, because now we have parenting relationship here and the stretch to constraint which pointing at the twig bond. So this one moves, but we still cannot move our IK chain together with these bonds. So the next step will be to add transform constraints. The way we do this, we select this bond and this bond. So Shift Ctrl C, copy transform. Yeah. Now go here and proceed with these bonds. Okay, if we cannot select inside, just hide this by pressing H and select at first IK bond and then steel bond. Shift Ctrl C, copy transforms. Hide this, select IK bond, then steel bond, Shift Ctrl C, copy transforms. Here at the bottom we have to parent this bond, big bond, to the root bond. We skip offset. So once they're done, all of these constraints are added. We can grab this and move it, and voila, you can see that everything moves with IK chain. And also now we can grab our controllers. Our controllers are gonna be our twig bonds. We can find them here. We can move them as well. But right now you can see it's not easy to move all of that. So let's make it simpler for us. Simplify a few things. We have to select our controllers first. So here's our controllers. Let's first hide these bonds so they are not on our way. Select our controllers and let's go to this section, and add the bond groups to the bond groups these bonds and select assign. So now even if we deselect these bonds and we go here and click select, we will have them selected again. Let's unhide these stretch to bonds, select all of our bonds, go to here and change display type to B bonds. Now select our bonds that we've just added to the bond groups. And let's go to the edit mode. And now press Ctrl Alt S. And scale it. So here we go. Now we go back to the pose mode. Let's grab our tip, our IK controller, and as you can see, we can move this whole chain now, and our controllers as well. Okay, so what now we can do to improve that even a bit more? At the moment, if I grab this bone, this is our tip for the IK chain, our IK controller, if I remember, yeah, IK controller R. If I grab it, only one bone will stretch. If we want all of the bones to stretch, all of the IK bones to stretch, first of all, it will be easier for me if I'll go and change it to octahedral just for the moment, so I can see where is our IK chain bones. And if we go here to this tab and click inverse kinematics, here is our stretch option. So for each bone we can change the value to 0001. So once that's done for all of these bones, we can grab this our point again, stretch it, and you can see how cool is that. Probably let's go back to our B bone display type for the bones. If we change to the B bones to make it less rigid and less stiff, these bones, we can add also the segments. So let's add 6 segments for each of these our big stretch 2 bones, like that. And now let's see what we have. It's much better now. And now we can just select our mesh and select the rig, Ctrl P with automatic weights. And now we can go to the pose mode and try to move it. And as you can see, our whiskers moves with it. Everything is perfect so far. Let's try to move the pole target. It moves as well. Maybe we can add B bones now, so it will be easier for us to see these controllers. Yeah, so like this. So, and you can move that. You can see how cool it works. And you can do whatever you want, because now we have these additional controllers. So, do you remember I mentioned that I will also show you how to create this rig in a different way? Another way would be just to replace those stretch 2 bonds that we had with the IK bonds. And as you can see, these IK bonds are pointing to our tweak bonds. And from the bottom, they are parented to IK spine bonds with keep offset. actually this one parented to IK spline, this one to control tweak, which is this one, and this one parented to control tweak at the bottom as well, which is this one. So this is the other way how to create the same rig. Okay, I think that's it, guys. I will be animating it now. That's it for now. If you wanna see more tutorials about, for example, how to model this character or how to texture it, I have it here. My result, I will do it. Just I need enough comments below this video. Yeah, and I will be updating my channel since now regularly. I will be posting new tutorials. But that's it for now, guys. Thank you for watching. See you next time.